Warm welcome to the dugout 1 day prior to the India versus Sri Lanka game, which is going to be the only dead rubber in the Super Fours. But today is a very important game for the final because it's very simple. Pakistan versus Bangladesh. Winner meets India in the final. Loser goes out.
Yeah, and there's no even a concept or talk about net run rate. It's a straight shootout as far as points go. Whoever wins, regardless of the net run rate, is through to the final, will be facing India.
But what do you think? On form, on momentum, what do you think? Is it Pakistan or is it Bangladesh that we have seen?
Yeah, definitely seems like it will be Pakistan because whilst I do think that Bangladesh are strong, I mean, they did end up beating Sri Lanka, who could potentially end the tournament or the Super Fours with no wins. I don't think that this Bangladesh have what it takes to beat Pakistan yet. That being said, do I think a surprise can happen? Sure, you can never rule out a surprise, but Pakistan do start the favourites.
Yep, I mean, imagine for the first time in the year of firsts, you're going to see another first. 40 years of the Asia Cup, you've never had an India-Pakistan final. And I don't know, I mean, there was a stat that was put out to me. Is it the first time that India and Pakistan are facing in a tournament 3 times?
Could be, because I mean, how often does it really happen? You've never had an India-Pakistan final in an ICC event except for 2007.
And 17. Champions Trophy.
So Champions Trophy didn't have, Super Fours. It was group stage and then knockouts.
2 times.
Yeah. So even in the 2007 T20 World Cup, it was group stage and knockouts. So you never actually had a situation whereby in the same tournament they face each other 3 times. I mean, sure, it would have happened in tri-series and obviously bilateral matches.
I mean, sure. I mean, the last time I can think of where India and Pakistan played each other 3 or 4 times in a single thing, I think was the Australia tri-series 1999, where India and Pakistan, I think, faced each other 4 times, if I'm not mistaken, and India won only 1. And Pakistan won 3 of them.
Right.
I think they won in Hobart, they won in Brisbane, they won in Perth. India won in Adelaide. That's about it. And apart from that, Sharjah either once or twice. That's about it. Yeah, after a very long time, I think after 26 years, you're seeing an India versus Pakistan match not once, not twice, but 3 times in the same tournament. And for the first time, maybe it could happen. But Bangladesh, let's see what is the kind of surprise that they can pull out. But knowing the way how they played against India and that too, you're immediately playing.
Yeah, it's back-to-back. I know the venue is the same and I know everything, but back-to-back is going to be tough and they would be demoralized after yesterday, let's be frank. We did think that they'd have a half-decent chance of chasing because, truth be told, it is a chasing venue. But 2 things kind of undid them. One, there was really no dew. So the batting conditions remained just as tough. The second was, I think their own approach wasn't quite ideal, so they ended up falling behind because of that. I don't think they attacked as much as they should have in the power play. Whatever said and done, they're going to be deflated. But see, there's 2 ways they can take it. Either they're going to continue to remain flat, or they'll say that, listen guys, let's really try and put that behind us, motivate ourselves to go out and do better today. If they can do that, they might have a chance. Otherwise, I do think Pakistan are starting the favourites.
But if it's an India-Pakistan final, oh man, are we going to see plenty of drama, plenty of hostility, which has already been there.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. We're seeing so much of it anyway. Can you imagine how much worse it'll get if you have an India-Pakistan final? Utter madness.
Madness. And I'm telling you, the action on the field will be rudimentary. It will be secondary. All the drama will take place off the field. And you're already seeing it. PCB had earlier objected to Surya Kumar Yadav because he had raised the thing that, we give our dedication, we dedicate this win to Pahalgam and our armed forces. But now Pakistan have gone 1 notch lower. When you look at, I can't say higher because high means it will be positive, but there is nothing positive about what Pakistan are doing. Because see, you peddle fakery by doing all these kind of things and all those things. Okay, context wise, they may want to deflect it. No, you're not trying to mock that. But we know with Pakistan, they will do it. PCB had done it. BCCI has now officially complained, and there was a report saying that they may respond by 6 p.m. What PCB had done, BCCI will respond to it, but I'm not seeing any of those things that's happening.
Yeah, I haven't seen any response per se, truth be told. We've been tracking, and it's been a busy day, obviously, in terms of Indian cricket, because we also did get to see, the West Indies squad announced. But more on that in just a bit. Starting with what's happened there, I think it's very funny in some ways that they've basically resorted to memeing. And this is not, by the way, some random or a YouTuber or a social media personality or even fans. The memeing, really the meme fest, started from the PCB chairman, ACC chairman, and the Pakistan Interior Minister. All three happened to be the same person. Mohsin Naqvi was caught sharing that video on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, without any context. Now, of course, just to give you guys some context, what Ronaldo did, and I'm sure you guys are smart enough to figure this out, but let's just go ahead and explain a little bit anyway. What Ronaldo was doing obviously had no context with what has happened either in Pahalgam or the subsequent events in Operation Sindoor. But it was twisted that way because, it matches what it is that the Pakistani players had been doing, that plain gesture. And so you just put it out there without context, and that was it. He wasn't the only one. Sufyan Mukim had also put out that thing on his own Instagram stories, a platform or a place that has suddenly become very popular for Pakistani players to start peddling their nonsense. Who can ever forget what Fahim Ashraf was sharing? So that's just a thing. And I mean, the fact that it's coming from the head of the ACC, disappointing to say the least, and arguably the second most powerful man politically speaking in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Don't forget, for those of you who are looking for context, Pakistan's interior minister is the same position pretty much as India's home minister. So that is the level of power he has. And then they say don't mix sport with politics. The man is the interior minister and also heads the PCB.
Exactly. As I said, irony will die 72 deaths with Pakistan if that is the case. So, in that sense, I really don't know what to make of Pakistan, what to make of their people, what to make of their administrators, because frankly, what Ashwin said, trying to argue with people who got lower IQ than that of freezing point is of no use.
Agreed.
And that is why if we have to deal with a deluded bunch of people out there, so be it. But then that's how it's going to be for India versus Pakistan. The cricket will take a backstage. All the jingoism is going to come out on social media in a huge, huge way.
Yeah, but speaking of course, cricket taking the backstage, let's try and ensure that doesn't happen and put any talk of India Park on the back burner for now. Wow. I know there's going to be a lot of talk coming about over it for the next 3 days. Tomorrow, of course, potentially Saturday, Sunday, obviously even Monday. So there'll be a lot of time for that. Today, a rather interesting thing happened this morning in terms of not morning, early afternoon Indian Standard Time. We finally got to know the squad of the India squad for the 2-test series, which will be taking place at home against the West Indies.
Yeah, I mean, there was a press conference that was held by AGARKAR'S, and for 15 minutes he spoke on a lot of things. But then basically, when you look at the squad, there is nothing much. There are a couple of surprises per se, but nothing earth-shattering when you look at it. So, it's like the same. Yashasvi Jaiswal, Shubman Gill, they are there. There is no Karun Nair. Abhimanyu Easwaran isn't there. Sarfaraz injured, so that's why he couldn't be picked. Rishabh Pant suffered that fracture. He won't be fit for the West Indies tour series, but at least he will be there for the series. Post that, say Australia, say against South Africa, he'll be ready for that. So that is second. And one more interesting thing, people were asking, when is the India series Australia, when is that squad getting picked? It'll be picked in 10th in New Delhi, when India are playing the second test. So that one date we'll have to figure out, 10th to 12th, anywhere in between that period. So that is about it. But Jasprit Bumrah getting picked. We thought he would be rested, but no. That's the thing. Siraj is there. Kuldeep is there. Jadeja is there. There is no Akshar Patel.
No, there is Akshar Patel. Akshar is there. He's in this 15.
Oh, okay. Akshar is there. Nitish Reddy is there. Jagdishan is your backup.
Washington Sundar is there.
Yeah, Washington Sundar. Dhruv Jurel will be your first starting choice keeper in more ways than one. So yeah, Siraj, Prasidh, Kuldeep, and looking at it, Nitish, Akshar, Bumrah, Sundar. These are your bowling options. You have KL Rahul, Sai Sudarshan. They have got a good mix of the same England squad that they had assembled. Plus, they have added 1-2 more people.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really been much in the way of additions. Obviously, Jagadisan, his recent domestic form gets rewarded with a call up. And beyond that, though, there's really no surprises. Obviously, Bumrah being picked was a surprise. I did not expect that Bumrah would be playing this particular series. But other than that, if you look at it, that's a very strong Indian side. And I remember there had been talks, I don't know where it came from originally, that Gill might be rested for this tournament, for this series. I'm glad that's not the case. He's really only had one, series as India's test captain. I think he needs to be bedding himself into that role, into the batting role that he's taken up. A lot of those things he needs to be focusing on before he can think of taking a small break from red ball cricket. Yeah. In fact, red ball cricket might just end up becoming his biggest priority because, he is the skipper in that format. So, correct. I mean, you resting him would have made no sense. Other than that, I do think that this is a test series where, contrary to everything which you'd expect, you could very well see a continuation of Gambhir's 8 batters theory, because there's a lot of all-rounders we have in the squad. I mean, you've got Jadeja,
spin bowling all-rounder.
You've got 3 spin bowling all-rounders.
Yeah, and you've got a pace bowling all-rounder in Nitish Reddy.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if I have to make my 11, it'll be Jaiswal, Rahul, Sudarshan, Gill. Maybe at number 5, I may get DDP in.
Devdutt seems like the likely
6
option.
6 is Jurel, 7 is Nitish, 8 is Sundar or / Aksar, and 9 is Siraj, 10 is Prasidh, 11 is Bumrah.
Siraj, Prasidh, Bumrah, no Kuldeep in India?
Again, see, even on those ranked turners, when you look at it, against New Zealand, Kuldeep played only 1 game.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if you say, I don't think they'll give ranked turners for one.
Yeah.
I don't think
they'll give flatter wickets.
I think they'll give more sporting wickets. But if you do get a ranked turner, then you might see a Kuldeep come in. I think.
Or maybe just play Siraj and Bumrah and get in a Kuldeep at 9. That is the way possible. Because see, I don't know how on earth can you fit anybody else in. See, Prasidh can do well. Siraj, you have to play him. Bumrah, you have to play him.
Yeah. Now, beyond that, see, Jagadisan, I don't see him getting a shot unless, someone gets injured. And that someone would have to be Jurel, most likely.
Yeah.
So, there's not really a chance. I think the all-rounder spot, one of them is up for grabs because it could be a toss-up between Akshar and, Washington. Because Jadeja's been named your vice-captain. You know he's starting.
Yeah, Jaddu is definitely there. So, yeah, Jaddu at 7. Sorry, I forgot Jaddu totally. So, 6 is Jurel, 7 Jaddu, 8 Sundar.
It'll be a toss-up between Sundar and Akshar, basis who you want. You could go for an off-spin option because you do already have the, left-arm spin of Jadeja. So
Jaddu and Aksar / Washington is your one thing. But the problem is if it's a deck, say like Bengaluru, like what New Zealand did in that Bengaluru test match, then I think Kuldeep will come in.
Yes.
At 9. Then you're playing only 2 pacers then.
Yeah, 2 pacers, 2 full pacers with Nitish then being your 3rd pacer.
I think Nitish won't get a game.
Oh dear, actually you could be right. Yeah, you could be right.
Either you don't play Devdutt Padikkal. Play Nitish. That will be... But in Devdutt, I am looking at a pure batter.
Yeah.
So that's why I would want Devdutt at 5. 6 is Jurel. 7 is Jaddu. So where do I fit in a Nitish Reddy then? That's my problem. So I may either go with only 2 pacers or I'll go with 3 pacers out and out in Prasidh, Siraj and Bumrah.
Yeah, but it's a very strong squad for a series that most people would have expected you to be walking either which way. But as I think AajTak also pointed out in the press conference, he said that listen, with the WTC there now, no test is unimportant. Every single match matters.
And he did point out the New Zealand loss. That was a wake-up call for us. And that is why when you look at it, it's going to be very important. 4 test matches at home. Then you've got 4 versus Sri Lanka and New Zealand, followed by 5 test matches at home. So basically, this is the first 4 matches of a 9 test summer that you're going to have at home. 9 test winter rather. You've already played your major 5 test series against England. That's done. So now you've only got 4 more games in the away series against Sri Lanka 2, New Zealand 2. But let's look at some omissions. Karun. Because Ajit Agarkar, when he mentioned about Karun Nair, we expected more from Karun in England. While he has shown some decent form, it can't be about just one innings. That's what Ajit Agarkar mentioned. You're talking about that one oval 50. That is the problem. He didn't show that consistency in the previous 3-4 matches where he played in. We aimed to give 50-20 chances to players. I mean, that's what he said. We wish that we can give 15-20 chances to players, but it is not always possible.
And he's not wrong. I mean, considering the amount of competition you have for slots, it's impossible that any player gets a very, very long rope unless they're playing a very specialist role. And sadly, in India, being a middle order batter, I mean, you've got options for days. So, I mean, for Karun, look, he did well to get himself back in contention, had some good showings domestically, a consistent domestic season, but he needed to seize the opportunity because at his age, there really was only ever going to be one shot. If you found that it wasn't quite working out, there's a lot of options to look past. And don't forget, Devdutt is hardly someone new you're looking at in the test scene. He played a test against England in the home series. And he even got a 50 in one of those games. Yes, it was the Dharamshala test. So you know that they've seen him. Also brings the added advantage of being a left-hander. So there are a lot of reasons why you'd want to play a Devdutt. You don't forget, with no punt means you already a left-hander shot. Jarrell would be a right-hander. So Devdutt is pretty much a shoo-in in that.
Got 3 left-handers in that top order. Jaiswal, Sudarshan, and you would want to get a Padikkal.
Exactly. Then after that, you could have more. Jaddu would be the 4th. Yeah. So you could very well have more.
Sundar is 5.
Sundar, Akshar, both also are left-handers. So depending if either of them play, if assuming you go with 2 spin bowling all-rounders, that could also, be the case. So they have options, and Karun unfortunately just didn't show enough. He got starts, but he needed to convert those starts. The problem was he more often than not ended up failing in batting conditions that were fairly good. Yeah. I remember a lot of instances where you had Gill scoring 200 and Karun not even able to get to 50. So that was a bit questionable because they were batting him. Even if you're saying bat lower down the order, what's the harm? Take your time. It's test cricket. You don't need to be playing, bang bang cricket from the word go. Karun's best ability is his ability to accumulate and score big. He's shown that even at the international level by scoring a 100. So do that. You have to just do that. Do that. You're helping the team. You're helping your own chances. Unfortunately, just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, see, Leeds, Edgbaston, Manchester, Oval, all were very, very flat decks. 300 plus scored in almost every game except Lords.
Yeah, and Lords was the only one where there was some sort of a challenge.
Yeah, but looking at the way how India, kind of the batters all, I mean, you look at Pant, you look at Jaiswal, you look at Gill, everybody averaged north of 40-50 in that series.
Exactly.
Karun's one knock ensured that fine, you can get sympathy, but that rope had morphed into a thread.
The rope was never going to be long because of his age. He needed to take that opportunity and grab it with both hands. And I think it's a fairish kind of a policy given age. If you are someone on the wrong side of 30, you know full well that the team management will never see you as a long-term option.
Yep.
They're never going to see you as that. Another example I could give you is someone like a Varun Chakravarti. One of the reasons why I felt a lot of times that BCCI were reticent to call him was not only because of his fielding and everything, but even because he doesn't have age on his side. He's already, 33, 34 types?
32, 33.
Yeah, so he doesn't have much age on his side. If he had not made it stick during his recall in 2024, do you think he would have been given a long rope? No. India has no paucity of options when it comes to that. They could have very easily stuck with a Bishnoi, someone who's a work in progress, but you'd get 10 years of service out of. But, if he didn't make that chance stick, there's no way he was ever getting that long rope.
Yep, and we are joined by Nikhil from Dubai. And Nikhil, it's been a very, very busy day, don't you think, as compared to all the other previous days? Slightly busier because there is also the team, plus you're also building up to India, Sri Lanka, also, although dead rubber, but tremendous anticipation for today's game because Pakistan, if they win, India-Pakistan final for the first time in the history of the Asia Cup.
You're right. It's been a busy day because of multiple developments. One about Mohsin Naqvi's tweet and then allegations, counter allegations, ICC taking cognizance of that fact, followed by the team selection, followed by the game, the virtual semi-final today. It has been busy day, but so has been every other day in Dubai. It's been relentless. It's been non-stop. And every day, I mean, assuming if Pakistan were to make the final, then uh, many thought that India, Sri Lanka, dead rubber would have been an easy day. It's also not going to be an easy day because your build up for the final will start from tomorrow itself. So, I mean, it'll all depend on how and what happens today. And you're right. I haven't been going for any non-India game to the stadium, but today I'll definitely be going because to the ground to be watching because you can't be watching the game on television here. And I, for one, am not going to miss this game. It should be a good encounter. It'll start in another 40 minutes from now. So yeah, I'm going to be there at the ground looking at it. So I think cricket-wise, it's been a rather hectic and a busy day. So between the TV show and this, I didn't get too much time. So that's why I'm 10 minutes late because I wanted to find my cup of coffee and get it, and I found one. And so now I'm joining you live.
Just a quick thought, Nikhil. You obviously were there at the press conference when the chairman of selectors, AajTak, announced the squad. I think there's been a few surprises for some people, at least, basis what I'm seeing. Were there any picks you thought were surprising or any major shocks, per se?
No, I think it's pretty much on expected lines. I don't think. Okay, what? Abhimanyu Ishwaran, did I think he'll make the squad? No, because I mean, and truth be told, he had been traveling with the team and not gotten picked. What were the chances of you continuing with him? Sooner or later, you want to cut him off, and I think that's what has happened. And as I said, I want to be honest here. I think the interviews that his father also gave after that probably didn't help his cause. Should it be like that? No, it shouldn't be. And we can all debate about that. But I guess you know how the BCCI is and how they look at these things very closely and critically. So I think him coming out and, having a direct go at the BCCI and the management, I wouldn't have served his son rather well. So for someone who used to be with the squad and never get a chance is now out of the squad. But then you could also look at it another way that had he not spoken, things really wouldn't have changed. I don't think he would have gotten any chance. And I think overall it's a bit unfair. Poor guy didn't get a chance and is out of the squad. But did it surprise me? No. And there's nothing else that, I mean, would Shami have come in? I don't think so because, as Ajit mentioned there, he's not doing enough work there. And I think what I liked about the press conference is that he was categorical, he was straight in your face, up front, said things the way they are without, beating around the bush. Was very honest. So he said it in as many words that if Shami wants to play, he has to be bowling a lot more. Playing a stray game here or there is not going to help him. And, you look at Akashdeep, what I'm picking up. This is not something that was said in the press conference, but information that I'm sharing with you. So the selectors are looking at Akashdeep very closely. He was injured with that shoulder injury, but he's now regularly bowling 20-25 overs, and the selectors know about it. So they'll rather look at a bowler like that who's putting in the hard yards than go to Shami, who has been a proven performer, I agree, but then is not showing that much intent of playing. That's one thing. The other thing that I can share with you is something again that I've picked up, which is not said in the post-match presser, is that many thought that after the Shreyas Iyer's admission that he cannot play long format, that will be looked at very adversely by the selectors, and that may put his future at risk. And BCCI doesn't really like players, who tell them that they can't play this format. In the past as well, it's not gone down well with them. But I must tell you, the selectors are actually happy with what Shreyas Iyer is unhappy because they're like, at least, he's coming forward and saying things the way they are. And if there is a genuine issue and he's finding it tough to the back problem to be playing red ball cricket, it's better for him to inform us rather than he keeps playing these on and off red ball games, scores runs, and then we try and look at him for the future in red ball, and then we get to know he can't play. Then that creates confusion. So they're actually happy with the fact that Shreyas has made it very clear. And they're also happy with the fact that, that because he's so talented, if he was to play a stray game here or there, he can score. And then what happens? Once he scores, you end up selecting him in the team. But then he's finding it tough to be fielding or standing on the field for 2 days. How is he going to manage in test match cricket? So I think overall also they're very happy with that. And I know the big chatter was around the ODI selection, and I know the rumor mill was in active mode, was overactive. about what's going to happen. Rohit is going to be not making the team. Is it the end of Virat? But as I informed here earlier on Sports Today as well, that no discussion has really taken place when it comes to the Indian ODI team. That will only happen during the second test match, the India-West Indies second test match. That's when I think they're going to be looking at what they must be doing when it comes to the ODI team. So that selection is a bit far away. So I don't think they've given it too much of a thought as to what they must be doing now.
Nikhil, Ajit Agarkar, as always, he was forthright and directly to the point in the press conference. That's what we expect from Ajit in this sense. But he had to juggle plenty of things when it came to the Jasprit Bumrah question. Yes, we need him for important events. Yes, WTC, and because of the loss that we had against New Zealand, it was an eye-opener. So no test is unimportant. But we have to also juggle his fitness also. So was that also a surprise that maybe because look, he had a break, like the Asia Cup schedule's also not been that taxing. He played only 3 out of the 5 tests against England. But 2 tests on conditions where you may not need that much of a Jasprit Bumrah. Is it a deviation from BCCI's thing that, okay, maybe we are not looking at his workload management like it's a line in the sand, or it's like in that sense? Are they like, okay, let him play, he has to be available? Is that the new diktat now that the BCCI is thinking at this point in time?
No, I don't think that is the case. I think what they are really looking to do when it comes to a certain Jasprit Bumrah. Just allow me one moment since you're talking about Jasprit Bumrah. What is he said? Bumrah under Rohit would generally bowl overs under Surya and Easwaran. He bowled a 3 overs at the start to avoid injury. Bumrah prefers to bowl while his body is wounded. 1 over of Bumrah and the remaining 4 is a huge relief for batters against stronger teams. Like this could hurt India. Inaccurate before, inaccurate again.
Oh dear, that's a big shot.
But he's given it a thumbs up. What does that mean?
I think that's sarcasm.
But what does he mean by inaccurate before, inaccurate again?
He's probably speculated other things in the past. I don't think it necessarily has to be about Bumrah, but could very well be that he's just speculated other things, and Bumrah saying, no, you've been inaccurate about things before, and you are inaccurate about this again.
Yeah. Because
I think, I don't know, before, it is a comma in the middle. Inaccurate before, inaccurate again.
Yes. He's just not put the comma.
It's not inaccurate before, inaccurate again. Yeah, that just, okay.
Yeah.
But thumbs up ever with thumbs up? Okay, sarcastic, thumbs up.
Yeah, that's him just being sarcastic.
But can I be honest? I this is something that I have been saying in my chats as well, that India need to look at a fast bowler, and I'm not looking at Jasprit Bumrah so much. I'm looking at the fact that in the death overs you would need another bowler. So fine, if you want to bowl Jasprit 3 overs up in the power play, so be it. I think captaincy is a bit of a merit there, and Bumrah as well. That's all right. But then you need somebody else, to chip in towards the death. That could be a problem. It could hurt India on a given day. Who knows it in all important finals. So that's something that I'd have to agree with. And if you remember, Mr. Gavaskar as well, on Sports Today, when I put this suggestion forward that should they look at another fast bowler, he said maybe not another fast bowler, but they certainly need to look at that, power play, where maybe they could save a over of Jasprit Bumrah in the power play and have him bowl 2 up front and 2 at the death. Even he's of that opinion. So I think in that sense, to be fair to KAIF, there are many takers for the opinion that he's expressed. That includes, to a larger extent, Mr. Gavaskar, and to a very minute extent, me. But I'm just saying there are many people who are talking about it. So what he's saying is not that outrageous as such, but
but I think what comes as the trigger, Nikhil, is that someone was pointing out that allegedly KAIF has previously said that Bumrah will retire soon or something like that. So that's perhaps what led Bumrah to say inaccurate before and inaccurate again. Now, if that was the trigger point, then you can understand.
No, that's fine. That's fine that he feels that he's inaccurate. I'm saying what he is pointing. So I'm just talking about it, about his inaccurate again point of view, where he has said that. I mean, that Bumrah would certainly bowl 1 over there in the power play, and then 13, 17, 19. I think that's factually correct. Wouldn't you say? I remember him doing that.
Yes.
But under Surya, he's been bowling 3 up in the power play, and so factually, I
KAIF
don't
is
know
not
if he's
that
wrong, but
wrong.
maybe. Yeah, but I think what he may be referring to, Bumrah, is that to avoid injuries these days, Bumrah prefers to bowl while his body is warmed up.
Yeah.
1 over of Bumrah in the remaining 14 over is a huge relief for batters, which is also factually correct. I think if I'm the batting team and he's done with his 3 overs up front, then I'm looking at the rest of the overs with great deal of relief. So against stronger teams at World Cup, this could hurt India is also a valid point. So I think every point that Kev has made there, again, I'm talking factually, is fine. And the points where he's raised a bit of concern is something that not only him, I've been raising the same concerns, and Mr. Gavaskar as well on Sports Today has raised similar concerns. So I don't know. I think the only thing that can be contentious and that Jasprit could argue is inaccurate, that to avoid injuries he's doing that, to which only Jasprit Bumrah can give you the correct answer. And maybe it's not happening because he's trying to avoid injuries, I think. What do you guys make of it?
I think the same. It's that injury factor. Nothing else. I mean, whatever was pointed in the tweet that Mohammad Kaif has done, I think 99% of it is factually correct. Yes, that same contention, maybe prefers to bowl while his body is warmed up. And that is the only thing, injury. I can't think of anything else to avoid injury. I think that is the only contention.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you look at what it is he's saying, then that's the only thing that really seems like a bit of a bone of contention where he's saying, no, because see, what that second line is what you can say is at best speculative, where he says that to avoid injury, Bumrah these days prefers to bowl while his body is warmed up.
I think that's the only inaccurate.
Yeah, because other than that, see, most of what he's saying is not entirely wrong by any stretch. It's not far off the mark, whether it be the analysis side of things, whether it be the factual things where he says, that he'd bowl 1 over in the power play and then would bowl 1 in the middle and 2 in the death. Again, nothing wrong. Nothing is wrong about that at all. Nothing is wrong with what he's saying that, okay, batters would also be relieved at that sort of breakup. But I do think that, what Bumrah's taken offense is this thing that to avoid injury, he bowls while his body is warmed up. I don't think that's the case. And truth be told, I can understand. Maybe this is just, something they're doing for the Asia Cup where that you don't need to save 2 Bumrah overs for the death. It doesn't really matter.
Correct. That's the only bone of contention, to avoid injury, I think. That is the way I look at, maybe it's not true, and that's why it's inaccurate. So, I mean, our BCCI not really that concerned now about the Bumrah workload?
I mean, let's take a look at what it is that, Ajit Agarkar had to say on this matter, because he was quizzed about it and he did say very clearly, not this. I want to see what Agarkar said about Bumrah. He said that, this team which has been named is for both tests. So that means Bumrah is available for both tests. Now, we've had a fair break and he didn't play the 5th test versus England. So it's been a long break for him.
And it's not been very taxing, this Asia Cup thing, barring the last week where it has been back to back when you look at it. So, I mean, the Indian team kind of is like not so, they're not tiptoeing on Jasprit Bumrah's workload management. I think whenever he's available, he plays. As simple as that, irrespective of conditions. And looking at it, he will play 2 versus the West Indies, then he will go to Australia, probably will rest a couple of T20Is.
Yeah, might not even play the ODIs if they want to prioritize T20Is. You never know.
Could be. The ODIs at this point in time, I don't know. I mean, it's Australia. I mean, they are the team that can trouble you in all. Right? Bumrah is your only other player apart from Shubman, who's your all-format player. So, I mean, it's a very tricky thing how they'll manage his workload, because he'll shoulder quite a heavy workload until February, March, or even until May.
Yeah, of course it'll May, because he's not going to miss any IPL games. So.
Yeah. Plus January, you've got 5 matches versus New Zealand also. That he may skip the ODIs there. He'll play 5 T20Is, or he may play 3 or 4 of them. IPL, he'll play the entire. T20 World Cup, he'll play the entire. And then he may play some games against Sri Lanka. New Zealand, definitely he'll have to play, because that series is really, really important for India's WTC chances more, because you started with 2-2 And that's how I look at it in that sense. So, and Nikhil, the other thing, can we
You'll
now
have to give
say...
me 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm going to give you some news. Just give me 1 minute. I'm coming back to you.
Okay.
Wow, okay, maybe something big coming from Dubai at this point in time over. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean...
A quick word, by the way, since we are talking about it, on the Easwaran situation.
Poor guy can't catch a break. He can't get selected when he's in the squad. It's like that. That's a scene in Tare Zameen Par, right? Where Ishan, he tries, you flip the book, he continues to go away and away and away. Easwaran will have that same kind of feeling. You go away and away and away and away, he's out of the squad. Can't get picked in the squad, can't get a playing 11. Your best batter, when you look at in the domestic circuit, he's scored plenty of runs in the domestic circuit.
I'll give you a stats. They're kind of on the tip of my tongue. He's played 104 domestic games, first class, 7,885 runs. His average is around 48 odd. So he's averaging close to 50 as a top order batter. I think that's fairly good. He's just also been unfortunate that, mostly for two reasons. One is that you haven't really called upon him. Second is that he plays as an opener. The India wicketkeeper batter slot is in the middle order. So if he even played, he might very well have had to have been playing in a compromised sort of, let's say, he could be playing in a compromised position, could have to be playing in the middle order. So that's also something that we need to be...
Okay, guys, are you ready to hear what I have to share with you?
Yes, please, breaking news. Yeah.
So here's breaking news that I'm sharing with you. First on Sports Today is that, so I was making a few calls, I don't know if you guys noticed that, is that the hearing of Suryakumar Yadav is complete. It took place a short while ago with the match referee, that is Richie Richardson. Remember, PCB had complained about the Indian captain making those, political references, and on which Richie Richardson has heard Suryakumar Yadav. What action to take or whether to take action or not will be decided tomorrow. Match referee will let them know tomorrow. That is, something that we'll get to know tomorrow. The PCB hearing where Saibzada Farhan and Haris Rao will also have to go meet Richie Richardson. That's tomorrow, because remember, Pakistan's playing a game today. What happens from that, I'll keep you updated about that as well. So that's the breaking news that I have to share with you at the moment.
Well, what can be the worst case scenario in these kind of things? Just a hefty fine. No one in the history of the sport has ever gotten banned because of quote-unquote political statements.
So it'll be either a fine or at most a demerit point. I think that's pretty much the extent of it.
Perhaps. That is the only thing. I mean, it isn't a level 4 offense where you have racially abused or you've punched somebody or you've destroyed someone's property in that sense, fit of rage. So, yeah, I think either it will be a fine or the match referee or the ICC will come down hard on both parties and say, stop making these statements.
Maybe they might just put an embargo of sorts saying that anything, any reference to what happened then, just
no questions, no quotes of any political nature that might happen.
Or no gestures, taunts.
No gesture taunts. Maybe that is the way, because if they give any kind of decision that favors one particular party, it is only going to explode even further. So that is what I think. You may just get a warning or at worst a fine for both the parties. Perhaps. It's because I can't think of any other precedent that teams or entities have been banned. So
no, you're right. There's, I don't think, been any sort of a precedence in that regard. I mean, at most, you'll just get a warning, slap on the wrist, be done with it.
Nikhil, do you think that is what will happen? A warning and a fine for either entity?
Will you please tell our friend Saransh not to call me because I'm live with you guys?
Oh. Okay.
He's not watching your own dugout.
Oops.
Oh dear.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe there is some call that has come. We don't know. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, that's what I think. We are all building up, okay, maybe PCB, the hearing is there, what will ICC do, whatsoever. But I think you're just going to get a fine. So, yes, we hope better sense prevails, because for once I want to commentate on the cricket not on these kind of political shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, the first two matches have just been dominated by us focusing on everything but the actual cricketing action. Because the cricketing action has been one sided, it's been a thrashing as far as the Indian side are concerned. They've been dishing out the thrashing, Pakistan have been taking the thrashing.
They have been taking the thrashing. But then, yeah, as I had mentioned at the start of the dugout, first time in almost 20 plus years, you're playing a team 3 times in one specific edition of the tournament. Apart from a bilateral you've had a 5-match series, a 3-match series, but in one major ACC tournament, you've had those kind of things. So, that's one major update that we have gotten, and it's only going to add to the spice tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, if tomorrow.
Okay. What happened?
Okay.
Absolutely.
So now see, that's the other thing which you think that once the Surya thing was done, obviously that's not going to be the case, because tomorrow now you will get to hear the Pakistan side of things as well, because they too will need to be hauled up. Don't forget, India have also made complaints in that regard.
Yeah.
So it would be very interesting.
Started with shaking hands, then no shaking hands. Pahalgam, Operation Sindoor, now 6-0. I don't know. This is one Asia Cup that I will be remembering for all the wrong reasons, technically. And we have to thank our neighbor. Well done to thy neighbor for ensuring that we don't focus on cricket, we focus on something else at this point in time. And I got an update that did Agarkar confirm that Shreyas Iyer will be the ODI captain? No, he hasn't.
He confirmed that he would be leading the side in the A side. He was not going to be the next ODI
there were
captain.
2 squads that were announced. The India A squad for the first 3 ODIs, one day internationals that will take place in Australia A, and the rest of India squad was announced. Agarkar categorically mentioned that we are looking at him as a ODI leadership bit, but much later, not now, not in the immediate future. When you got Rohit, when you're doing well, when you got Virat, when you're doing well, why do you need to change? So I think that was a clear-cut indication that Rocco will continue.
And don't forget, if they want an immediate captaincy option, I mean, if they see Shubman Gill as the leader too, Gill is a part of the ODI side as well. So what's stopping them really from going the route of an all-format captain again? I'm not saying it's a decision I'd be a fan of, but I mean, you could totally see it happening, let's be fair.
You're talking about Eastern, Sarfaraz, what more needs to do? Got injured at the wrong time after having done so well in Buchi Babu.
Yeah, and he was also, remember, he'd gone on a massive physical transformation as well, managed to get in some good shape. Unfortunately, ended up picking up a quad injury, I think, if memory serves me right, during that tournament, and is currently, obviously, his recovery is taking place. So, yeah, I think from what I could tell with Agarkar, it did seem like that they were looking at his form, which meant that actually his injury came at perhaps the worst time.
It did, and that's why he will not be there for the West Indies series. Let's hope he can make a comeback for the South Africa series in November. I don't think he's making a white ball team anytime soon.
No, I mean, he's someone who predominantly is seen as a red ball player. Yep. So I do think anything which has to be taking place with him will take place in that arena. Yeah, I think when South Africa is the next series, right? So that would be the only one, but he might even find it tough then. What if the current performers end up doing well? What if DDP gets a chance
and Sai Sudarshan also does well?
Yeah, then good luck. Then at best you're settling for a squad position, and that's at best. The worst case is that you might not even get picked.
Okay. So yeah, Nikhil gave us a big update from Dubai about we will see the situation tomorrow as to what has gone on. And it comes on a day when India will be playing Sri Lanka, the only dead rubber of this Asia Cup.
I mean, it could have not been a dead rubber if for other results, but yeah, obviously now it's done because India qualified, Sri Lanka eliminated. So I mean,
and
that's definitely.
What has been the news in the toss? I mean, I just have to look at it. Bangladesh have opted to bowl, by the way.
Ooh, very
for the
interesting.
second straight. Pakistan, I think it is the same side. That
yes, they're playing the same side.
Saib Sada, Farhan, Fakar Zaman, Saim Ayub, Salman Aga, Hussein Talat, Mohammad Haris, Nawaz, Ashraf, Afridi, Rauf, Abrar. That is the way we are looking at it. And so that's not going to be easy at this stage. So is our internet working fine? Technical issues at this point. For a few seconds, I mean, are we now back online? Are we ensuring that we are streaming properly? Can you just tell us in the comments? It'll be okay. So let's see. Vijay Lakshmi, will he play WI tests?
He retired squad, and he was name checked as being one of two good openers. We're talking about Abhimanyu Easwaran and with the opening pair of KL Rahul and
Retired out. Yeah, he retired.
that it's fine now. So fingers crossed that.
Okay,
Good,
so
good.
fine. Okay, I don't know what's, but we did have a bit of a internet issue. We are sorry about that, but I think in the oh damn. Okay, so
Bit unfortunate.
intermittent drops. That's what's happening at this point. But I don't know what's going on with the net here. I mean, suddenly it went out. So. I mean, again, let's just see if it is fine, because on our end at here, what we are seeing, we are not facing any kind of a lag. But
Yeah, I don't
maybe
understand.
even I have also got to check whether on my. Now it's fine, but the drops are continuing. That is what he's saying. Some people are saying.
Yeah, let's not go by that entirely.
Okay.
I think
now okay, but the same two guys are saying now okay, but it's lag. Now
Yeah, okay. Let's just continue on. We'll take a few comments.
Freaking awesome saying now it's getting better. Okay.
Let's just take a few comments as well, because I think there's a lot of thoughts that our family members have on the discussion we've had today. Let's see. Siva Subramaniam is asking, has Shami played his last match for India? I don't know about last match ever.
Maybe tests.
But in tests, I mean, he hasn't played a test match in more than 2 years now. The last test match he played for India was the WTC final, 2023. Thereafter, he hasn't played a game.
Yeah.
So that in itself tells you it's very worrying. And more importantly, what Ajit Agarkar said was that he needs to be playing more red ball cricket. He's played a game here, a game there, and that's pretty much the extent of it. If he doesn't, then I think he'll perhaps, you might see him phased out in at least this format. Even for T20s and ODIs, I mean, ODIs, he was part of the
England series, right?
even the Champions Trophy.
Champions Trophy. Even T20s, I think he was there for the England series, if I'm not mistaken.
But I mean, there's a lot of competition. We know that much.
Yeah, but I think Shami's knee, I think it's going to be a huge issue. So
It will. Ashish Dhar says that Abrah's reaction after taking a wicket reminds me of Ritesh Deshmukh to Sanjay Dutt in Dhamal. देखूंगा देख लूंगा देखता रहूंगा
मैं देखूंगा मैं देख लूंगा मैं देखता रहूंगा, and then he crashes.
So that is it's a fun way of looking at it. Sure. Let's see. Bhavik is asking, is there any update on Virat, because many reports are saying he might not go to the Australia ODI series. Bhavik, no, nothing of that sort. It does seem like those reports are a little off the mark. I know what reports you're talking about. Freaking Awesome says whoever bats better today will win, as both have issues with the batting. I agree.
He's spoken a 160-year truth about the game of cricket. Whoever bats better only will win. That's
right.
it.
Sachin Kashyap says Sanju at 8. Can't understand it. If you want to play Sanju at 8, Rishabh or Jitesh should play. But even Rishabh plays mostly at 4.
Jitesh.
Oh, it's only Jitesh. The only finisher keeper you have is Jitesh. So, I don't know.
You have to play Jitesh. Then that is the way how you're going to go for Sanju. Play Jitesh. What is the big deal in it? Play him. And that's why, which is why I think tomorrow it'll be interesting. Are you seeing some changes?
Maybe. You could see perhaps the two players who haven't played a game get a shot.
Rinku and Jitesh.
That is correct. Can we scroll down?
Let's just scroll down. Yeah.
Let's see. No, these we've taken.
Okay, Arvind Atreyas is like saying, Siddharth, from Padikkal or Reddy, your choice at 5 or 6. Padikkal. better bat.
I think you're definitely playing both. Considering this team loves deep batting, I do think there's a chance
Then
you'll see
you're
both.
missing out on one spin bowling all-rounder then. Another.
I mean, if you're looking at it, you might very well just end up playing one spin bowling all-rounder and one pure spinner. You could go for that
Jaddu
combination.
And Kuldeep, you will get a Sundar.
Yeah, but that's
7,
if.
8, 9.
But that's if you get a spinning condition. What if you don't? Then you might play two.
See, you're playing in Ahmedabad and you're playing in Delhi.
Listen, both venues do have history when it comes to rank turners.
Although Ahmedabad, I know in 2021, but then they course corrected in a big way in 2023.
Yeah, but I mean, see that's because they changed the soil, right? So for the very spinning ones, correct me if I'm wrong, it's red soil wickets. So,
But you get a mix of both. You get red and black.
Yeah, Ahmedabad has they have the ability to make pitches with either, because if you know, like even their IPL pitches.
Your World Cup final was black soil, by the way. 2023.
Yeah, less said about that, the better.
So I would go with Padikkal. So see, my playing 11 I am saying is Yashasvi, KL, Sai Sudarshan, Shubman, Padikkal, Jurel, Jaddu, Sundar, and then I'm going with my three pacers in Prasidh, Siraj, Bumrah. Because if it's a rank turner, you will play three. Even in Mumbai and Pune, you played Jaddu, Sundar, and Ashwin. And you didn't play anybody else.
Correct. Anshu Mishra says, why instead of Dubey you can play an Arshdeep or Rinku? Why do you want to play bits and pieces players, either player a batter or a bowler? I mean, fair. I do understand the compulsion, and I do think, but I do also feel like this team's mantra, at least in T20Is, is correct, is that you need a deep batting lineup, which means you might have to sometimes compromise your bowling. Do I think that applies to ODIs or Test cricket? Probably not. But in T20Is is fine.
Yep. So let's take the last comment and then let's see.
Yeah, scroll down. We've taken these ones.
Okay, why is AB Gowda is saying, why is Akashdeep and Arshdeep missing from the squad? I believe Arshdeep is the second best Indian bowler to have Bumrah, but Arshdeep is there in the India A versus Australia A series.
And Akashdeep has picked up an injury.
I think he's gotten an injury. So in that sense, that's the way.
And also, you have to remember, this is something that again Agarkar mentioned in the PC. He said that, since it's a home series, you're not going to be having 17-member squads. You will have a smaller squad, 15 man. In case there's an injury, you can just fly anyone in. So that's another reason why you've seen some of these players missing. Arshdeep also a bit unfortunate. People don't realize it, but he actually also went the Abhimanyu Easwaran way. Part of the squad. Where's he to be seen?
No, he almost came close.
Yeah, and then got injured.
Cut on his split webbing. That's why that was a big issue. So that's about it, folks.
Yes, we have a very special episode of Sport Tales with Nikhil Naz. It's a video he's done from Dubai itself, and it details the story of the ICC as a whole. What exactly does it entail? Well, you'll have to watch the video to see that. But for now, watch out for that video as well as other videos that we'd have to do today. Plenty still coming your way. There's a must-win game that's about to start very, very soon for both Pakistan and Bangladesh. It's basically a shootout. Whoever wins
is in, and whoever loses is out of the
exactly.
But yeah, most likely we are looking at the match which everybody either wanted or didn't want it. So
whichever way you look at it.
So yep, join us for the post match and we'll bring you all the latest updates. And until then, subscribe to Sports Today and enjoy the videos, and do press the bell icon,
share,
and
all that. Subscribe, tap the bell, and stay tuned. Lots more still coming your way.
Yep.
Bye.